So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how to spot a powerful person in the room. And in the last few years, I've met several high-profile individuals, including a man who was worth 500 million pounds, and he was one of the richest UK-based refugees. He was the richest refugees in UK, and he was worth 500 million pounds. He invited me to his home in London, and the home costed around $100 million. No, 100 million, yes, $100 million. And he had a private jet, which he purchased from Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One race car driver. And I met him in a location where he was not dressed, he was not wearing an expensive watch, and he just looked very normal. So, but I still managed to identify who he was. The other high-profile individual that I'm in a business partnership with is a CEO of a $3.5 billion company based in UAE. And I also identified with him the moment I walked into the room. And I have, networked with former chairman of a regional city bank in one of the Gulf region, and several other high-profile individuals, including royal family members, the senator in the Netherlands, who I managed to network with. So I've been around, and also individuals that are worth a few $100 million, etc. And so I managed to do this over and over in my life, and I have also analyzed their character traits, and I have called who they are, or if this is a powerful person or not, pretty much the moment I walked into the room. So how did I manage to do that, and what are the things that I look for in how to identify if this is a high-profile individual or not, or highly powerful individual or not? Actually, there was one time on the street, I spotted an MMA fighter, and he was downplaying himself, but I knew he was someone powerful and known. He was just walking, and I started to have a conversation with him, and then I asked him, "Are you someone famous?" And then he said, "No," but then he was actually, and I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I'm an MMA fighter." So he was known and he was famous, and then he ended up walking to his Lamborghini Urus, and he just went in that. But I found him, I walked up to him in UAE. So how did I know all of this? Just by my gut feeling, or what do I look for? So there are a couple of signs that you will see, and it's not the watch, it's not the car, it's not any of this. These are more obvious signs, but what if none of these signs are there? What if they're not even dressed that well? How do you identify that? Well, there are a couple of things. First thing is the venue, right? You want to go to a high-profile venue. If you're at a high-profile venue that you have to even pay to be there, then there is a high chance that you will find someone like that. Once you are at that venue, you want to look at, the first thing I look at, the position. Where are they sitting in the room? And if they're sitting in the power spots in the room, then there is a high chance that they are a powerful individual. For example, when I met at the Rotary meeting where I met the CEO of a $3.5 billion company, the moment I walked in, first of all, the venue, you had to pay to be there. I think around $200 just to be in that room. And it was a conference where the CEO of this company, $3.5 billion company, would be making a speech. And I didn't know who he was. I had never seen him, but I knew that person is in the room, but I didn't know which one is it. But the moment I entered, there was a conference table, and he was sitting at the head of the table. So obviously it was him. But not only that, I saw that there was a high-profile banker sitting in the room, and I could see him because we had exchanged some conversations. I knew he was a high-profile banker, and he seemed really powerful also. And the way he was reacting to him was he was clearly giving authority to this man who was sitting at the head of the table. So I knew the moment I see one powerful man giving authority to the other powerful man, this man is obviously way more powerful. And that's how I knew. And typically you will see when someone is extremely powerful, the seat next to them will be empty, and people will not be coming and very easily able to talk to them, because first, they are in protective environments, second, they are afraid to embarrass themselves. And you will see that a lot of people will not reach out to that person, and they will just stay at the back. And that would be a perfect opportunity for you to go in and introduce yourself. This happened even when I met Dan Pena in his castle. You would think that once people go to the Dan Pena's castle, they will ask him a lot of questions, and they will, discuss with him business ideas, but they don't. They're too scared of him, and they are kind of silent. They don't say anything. They're just smiling and agreeing with whatever he says. I was the only person in the room who asked the most amounts of questions, and I was the one who talked to him the most, because I wasn't afraid of him, and I wasn't afraid to speak my mind and even look stupid if I have to. I didn't go there to look smart. So, position, where they are sitting. Second sign is how other people react to them. When I met the man who was worth around 500 million pounds, one of the richest refugees, I met him in a health club in Bangalore. Again, it was a high-end health club, and I was in the top tier of the packages. So there were some people who were successful, but not like massively successful. It wasn't a crazy high-end health club. It was just a health club, But the moment I saw this man, he was wearing shorts and t-shirt and like slippers. So you couldn't tell. But the moment he entered the room, the staff in that health club kind of like they raised their eyebrows, and they were all very reactive to him. And when he went to take the food, they kind of stepped back. And the staff there wasn't giving anybody that kind of treatment. But the moment I saw them give him and another person that treatment, I knew that he was somebody. So no watch, there was no sign that he was super rich or super powerful, but there was one sign is how other people react, and especially the staff there. So I knew the moment I saw that, it was a split second. I went and I had a conversation with him, and I ended up building a connection with him, and ended up going to his house and having a conversation. So that's another sign. With the MMA fighter, once again, while I was walking on the street, I saw him meeting two guys who had expensive watches, and those guys were really like pleasing him and pandering to him like he was someone important. And then, the other guy, the MMA fighter, he wasn't wearing anything. So once again, how other people react. The third or fourth thing I would notice is the voice. Someone who is in a powerful position will always have their voice. There will be this power, this resonance coming from their voice. If you listen to the man that I'm talking about, the CEO of a $3.5 billion company, he has a very powerful, he has power coming from his voice. And that's usually a sign that they are someone in power. Because it's very rare for someone to be able to fake that voice. You can't fake it. But there's this power coming out. And usually that happens when someone has been in powerful positions, in commanding positions, where they are commanding thousands of people. And that's when that happens, right? And that happens when someone has a voice like that. It's typically they are in positions where they are commanding a lot of people, staff and things like that, and people are reacting to them and people are listening to them. So voice is another one. There are other signs which are mainly like walking, the way they walk, the way they hold themselves. But that's more, debatable, because sometimes it's the case, sometimes it's not. But these are kind of short, where they're sitting or positioned in the venue, how the people react to them, their voice, and the venue in general. And you can estimate who they are. So that's some tips for how to identify a powerful individual in a room. I'll talk to you soon.